We're out there getting the picture of the mailman not working in the rain, the snow, and the sleet. We're out there waiting for him to show up.
516 on the 5. Matthew's calling saying his ex-girlfriend Brenda died.
We're following breaking news of a deadly fire in Hickman County. Fox 17 Samantha Singer. She's live on the scene with the latest.
The heartbreak is unimaginable.
I lost my baby.
84-year-old Virginia Vickers, her son George, and 5-year-old great-granddaughter Kirsten Vickers died when the mobile home they were in caught fire just before 3 a.m. Kirsten's mom got the news from a friend.
She asked to stay the night last night, and I was out with my boyfriend. I get a phone call from my friend saying that the house is on fire, the house is on fire. So we get in the vehicle, we come over here, and by the time I got here, everything was gone.
The State Bomb and Arson Unit was called in to help in the investigation.
Mrs. Vickers heated the residence with several space heaters, and she's been known, we found out through family members that sometimes she would leave the stove on accidentally.
The news spread quickly through this close-knit community.
Everybody around this block is like family to us. We grew up here, they grew up here. I mean, we all grew up together, and my uncle tried to get in, but he couldn't. It was already too hot for him. Nothing you can do.
Sheriff's deputies had stepped up patrols in the area because of recent burglaries, but the fire moved too quickly to save Melissa's great-uncle, grandmother, and 5-year-old daughter.
She's very, very outgoing. She's warm-hearted. She's friendly with anybody.
11-year-old Steven is friendly and outgoing with many interests, including baseball.
I love video games, movies, like this kind of stuff, the water parks, stuff like that.
Nashville Shores is the perfect place for such an active boy. We got to know each other while playing in the wave pool. Steven told me all about his favorite superhero,
Spider-Man!
He lit up when he described why Spider-Man is the best.
He has spider powers. He shoots webs, he climbs his walls, and he has awesome villains.
Steven has a great imagination and wouldn't mind having some superpowers of his own.
Energy blast.
Energy blast, why?
Because I love energy blast, like that.
Steven enjoyed the thrill rides and cooling off under the giant bucket drop. He also took some time to relax in the lazy river. Steven's dreams for the perfect forever family are simple.
Somebody that loves me and takes care of me and is nice to me.
All he wants is to be part of a loving forever family.
Go to places like this, maybe go out to eat with each other, do a lot of stuff together.
And Steven loves to make those around him laugh and smile.
If you've never had a good cup of coffee prepared by an expert barista, put it on your list of things to do. Barista Parlor in East Nashville and Golden Sound in the Gulch are perfecting the pour, one latte at a time. It's the people, the coffee, the food, all the things that they're getting right. And if you're wondering whether you can really taste the difference, the answer is yes.
This is what they call blooming the coffee. So we don't want to do anything too crazy, just make sure all the grounds are saturated.
You're blooming the coffee.
Watch, it'll kind of rise. And these are very, very fresh coffees within a week of roast. And it's going to give off gas.
Wow.
And this is just priming the solids, the desirable solids in here for extraction.
It's bubbling like lava.
Yeah, so many more things other than just the methodology that makes it superior. It's really like the raw ingredients that we're using. Most people have heard about Arabica, for example.
Sure.
The two primary species of coffee that are served are Robusta and Arabica. But within Arabica, there are different varieties. Just like think of apples, there are different varieties of apples. Espresso is just another method of brewing coffee, not a roast like many view it as.
They brew filter profile coffee. It's probably not what you're used to seeing.
So we've got 3 steps.
Yes.
Grind.
Yes.
Tamp. Pull the shot.
The latte artists, true craftsmen, and they take their job seriously.
Having the right grind is key in having a good tasting espresso. And what you're looking for is a completely even bed. If it's not completely even, the extraction that we're talking about, if this side is higher, this side will get over extracted and this side will get under extracted because it's not completely level.
So what does that mean when you taste it?
It'll taste bad.
And I can tell you firsthand, creating a good-looking, good-tasting latte is not easy.
Like, not just anybody can walk up to a machine.
It takes a lot of practice.
It takes a lot of practice. It takes a lot of work. I don't think people appreciate the art that goes into this and the science that goes into it.
Golden Sound, the golden child of Barista Parlor, is bringing the heat in the kitchen too, with a breakfast menu that rivals any other. And I can say that because my photographer and I ordered breakfast. It was amazing.
It's not something just straight out of a jar. It's something that we've really toiled over and had a good time making. And you can really, I think, is a reflection of that in every biscuit, every plate of food that comes out.
Regional farmers and their own canned goods put a spin on Southern classics here. The kind of place where you actually sit beside people and get to know your neighbor. The kind of place where you can drink the coffee black, even if you're like me and you've never done that before. The kind of place with the kind of people who make Nashville one of the best coffee cities in the country.
Okay, and are we sending this to her home or her office?
I had a job in college at a flower shop, and the most exciting time for me was Valentine's Day because everything smelled like roses.
They have to be perfect when they leave. And fortunately, roses give us lots of petals to make sure they go out in perfect shape.
I wanted to make good traditions with her, so last year I decided that as a baby we would start coming to a flower shop on Valentine's Day just to smell the roses.
Perfect.
It's got obviously flowers, my girlfriend, spending the weekend together.
This arrangement is in our sparkle vase. It's been one of our features this year, but I'm doing something a little bit different because now it's down to where the guys are coming in and picking out something rather than looking on our website to see what we have to offer.
I know she likes carnations, so I wanted to find carnations for her.
And this would also be good for just your Valentine because it's two, you and me.
Thank you, and Anna has your flowers.
Wow, there you are.
Hi.
Happy Valentine's Day,
Happy
y'all.
Valentine's Day.
It's very important for just that reason. We go through life with children and busyness, and I just don't spend enough time doing that. But today's always a day that I stop and remember that I got to do that. Tell her I love her.
Specialist Fabian Salazar and Staff Sergeant Derek Genk have more reason to appreciate a peaceful night at the stadium than most. When times were at their worst in Iraq and Afghanistan, they weren't sure if they'd ever set foot on American soil again.
I got blown up in an IED and I broke my right femur.
I was hit with shrapnel from a rocket in Balad, Iraq in 2006.
But Monday night, they were back home. And not just on any American soil, they were on the gridiron, the same grass where heroes tread and legends are made.
It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience, you know?
Never in the world would I think this would ever happen.
And during the Monday night football game between the Titans and the Jets, 70,000 fans showed them who the real heroes are and just how much their service and their sacrifice are appreciated.
It's just by far the best thing that's ever happened to me.
And it's all thanks to Craig and Matt Steichen, a father and son from Chicago on a mission to visit all 32 NFL stadiums in a single season. And what started as a father-son trip turned into a calling. And at every stop, they take 2 wounded warriors to the game with them.
They go through hell and back, and this is just a small token of our appreciation for what these guys do for us.
This father-son odyssey started in their hometown, the Windy City. From there, they went to New York City and then Denver and so on, visiting 31 stadiums in 15 weeks. And Music City was the last stop on this incredible journey.
We've done 40,953 miles in 103 days.
32 stadiums in half as many weeks meant the Steichens had to hit several cities in one weekend several times.
There was 2 stretches where we had 6 games in 9 days. We were home 32 hours in a week.
But no matter how tired they were, giving up was never an option.
If this journey was about football, I would have quit after about week 3. but I've never once wanted to quit because I know that there's 2 guys waiting for me at every single stadium that I get to make a difference in their lives.
To go out of their way to help people, strangers to them, they don't even know who we are until we meet, you know? It's just phenomenal.
But for the Steichens, it's moments like these that make it all worth it.
Just put it this way, I had to take a couple minutes to compose myself after that. So, it's pretty awesome.
Man said, boys, call home. Tonight's gonna be a long one. I don't wanna say it, but I will.
Well, as you travel across the United States, you meet different people and how they treat veterans.
Some of you may not see home again.
You got to see how we treat our veterans down in Nashville. And I was honored.
It was the very first time I saw one of my best friends I served with in the Marine Corps, his name on there. He was killed in Afghanistan in '09, and it really touched me. And I was like, you know, we'd love to bring that to Nashville because there's so many other people out there like myself that has friends and family that's on this wall.
Army Sergeant David A. Stevens. Army Sergeant Alexander Van Alton.
I couldn't ask for a better way to be in Nashville and honor the veterans that they have here and let them know that they're not forgotten, because I know that we have fallen from Tennessee here. And, you know, in each place we want them to know that they are not forgotten. And that's why I carry the wall across the United States.
Ron Payne right here. And that's the same tattoo. There's only 11 of these tattoos.
Army Staff Sergeant Brock A. Beery. Marine Corporal David A. Bass.
To reach out and touch that name, a name that you've not seen written down in a long time, and it's an opportunity to tell that story. It's very, very emotional.
It was probably a hell of a time in heaven that day. They all showed up together.
I tell you, they did.
You know, think all them Marines walking in together, I didn't know what was going on.
That's exactly right.
As we can see, the price of freedom is not free. It's paid in the blood and the sacrifice of our fellow countrymen.
I would really just want that our families and our veterans are not forgotten.
I said, those are my brothers, and I know they may not be here physically. They may not be here physically, but their names being here feels like they've come to visit me at home.
They came from little towns in Pennsylvania. They were men and women. They were the best that we have to offer.
You've been a hero. Oh.
If you're out on the lake and you're breaking the law, you might have to deal with TWRA officers Dustin Deaton and Brad Bagwell.
Throughout the summer, we do a lot of safety checks.
Saturday afternoon, this group of women got stopped for a routine check. The driver was taken in after struggling with a sobriety test.
We're just like on the highway, you know, .08 is the legal limit. Like I said, if we do a check or stop a vessel and it appears the operators had too many, we will give them field sobriety, and if they perform poorly on those tests, they will go to jail for BUI.
Now, Percy Priest Lake is so big it actually extends into 3 different counties. On busy weekends, there can be as many as 12 TWRA officers out on the water. Of course, they can't be everywhere at once, which is why they say it's important for mid-state families to take personal responsibility into account.
Just keep safety in the back of their minds. Like I said, unfortunately out here, we've already had one a fatality this year regarding a boat.
That person was identified as 55-year-old Khosrow Raisian, who investigators say jumped into the water 2 weeks ago. His body was recovered Saturday. The TWRA says there have been 9 boating-related fatalities in Tennessee so far this year, and say while not all of them can be prevented, being prepared can greatly increase your chances of survival if there is an accident.
Any boat on Tennessee waters is required to have proper safety equipment, which consists of life jackets, fire extinguishers, a throwable device if the boat is of adequate footage. I encourage everybody before they even get started, make sure they have all their safety equipment.